Next guy up really doesn't need an introduction here at Ohio State. Obviously a great player here at Ohio State, went on to have a 14-year career in the NFL, and he's brought the same enthusiasm, energy, and excitement that he had as a player back as a coach. Our players really love him, and what he's going to talk about today is eliminating explosive games. Eliminating explosive games in today's defense. This is our defensive line coach, Mike Vrabel.
Thanks, Coach Gillum. First of all, I want to thank you, coaches of Ohio, the high school football coaches. I grew up in this state. I played high school football in this state, and I believe that I'm the player that I was in college and in the professional and NFL because of my high school football coaches. We had a great staff at Walsh Jesuit, guys that cared about us, guys that pushed us, and guys that helped us take our games to the next level and really our attitudes and our minds to the next level. So with that being said, I'm proud to work here. I'm proud to work with a great defensive staff. You guys got to hear from Kerry Combs, his energy, his excitement. Everett Withers, who we soak his knowledge up every day. We do this daily. What he went through today, we do daily. And we talk football, and I ask him about coverages. Yes, I am the D-line coach here at Ohio State, but I think it's my role as I grow as a coach to understand the bigger picture, why we're doing what we do. Okay, I can't coach my kids. I can coach them the what, but I need to be able to coach them the why. Okay, why are we doing this? Well, because the offense is going to spread us out. Our guys have to know up front, okay, the coverages, how it ties in. This is tight coverage. This is hot coverage. We've got 2 seconds to get home. We've got 2.5 seconds to get home. So there's a mentality that carries down from the back end, and we tie our defense together. And then obviously our coordinator, who I played with at Ohio State, Luke Fickle. So we're lucky. I got a great staff I get to work with, I get to learn from. You're also going to hear at noon, you're going to get to hear our head football coach. You're going to get to hear Coach Meyer speak about our program. And then tonight, you're going to get to hear from Coach Holtz, who coached here in the national championship year. Okay, talk about his experiences in this game. And those two have a past. I don't know if you guys know this, but Coach Holtz is a mentor to Coach Meyer. And he showed up in Notre Dame in 1995, okay, as a receivers coach. Okay, and Coach Holtz was there. Coach Meyer came in the summer one day, and no players or coaches were in the office, and Coach Holtz was standing there holding a fishing pole. He said, he said, Urban, let's go, we're going fishing. And Urban had just gotten there as first year coach at Notre Dame, and head coach asked him to go fishing. So they go out to a lake, and they're doing a little fishing, and finally Coach Holtz, he hooks a big one. I mean, a good one. And, you know, he's not the biggest, strongest guy, so he's fighting this fish. He falls out of the boat. Coach Meyer, scrambling around, looks at it, grabs his hand, pulls him back in the boat. He dries Coach Holtz off, makes sure everything's okay, and they kind of talking a little bit. Coach Meyer says, hey, Coach, when we go back to the office, man, don't tell any of the other coaches that I helped you out and that we went fishing. I don't want them to feel like awkward or anything else. He's like, that's fine, as long as you don't tell Father Malloy I can't really walk on water. Okay, tough joke. But anyways, fellas, you're going to get to hear from two great football coaches as soon as I get done rambling. But I do want to talk about helping your programs the same way we're going to help our defense at Ohio State, is in eliminating explosive gains. And we've broken it down into what is an explosive gain. We consider those runs over 15 yards, and passes over 20. And you can see there's a direct correlation on how well we do as a football team in the amount of big plays or explosive gains we give up. So you can look that in 2011, all the way here close to the far right, okay, when we played in the Alligator Crocodile Bowl, we were 6-7. We were a bad football team. We were bad defensively. We gave up 25 big play runs for the season. 25 runs over 15 yards. Coincidentally, when they went to the Rose Bowl, okay, when Ohio State played in the Rose Bowl and won the Rose Bowl, okay, they gave up 9 big play runs. So there's a direct correlation in how many big plays you give up or explosive gains and how well you do. You can see the passes. Okay, the passes stay pretty similar. It's going to be tough to go through a season and give up less than 15 or 20 explosive gains in the passing game. They're just going to be there. The runs are the ones that kill us, and we'll include those bubbles and all those little screens out on the edge as runs as well. Four and five ways we talk about eliminating explosive gains to our players and to our staff. Number one is effort. Number two is leverage. Number three is our tackling. Four is our retrace, okay, by our front or any rushers. And then five is our pursuit. So those are the 5 ways we identify how we can eliminate explosive gains consistently as we go out and we play 85 or 80 snaps a game. Moving forward and beginning with effort, okay, one of our core values of the Ohio State football team is that we're going to play for 4 to 6 seconds. So the first way is you can get your teams to play really hard, okay, and you'll start to eliminate big plays by getting kids to play really hard from 4 to 6 seconds. We don't coach effort. We don't coach effort, we demand it. We demand effort every day. We're running around, we're reminding guys, because what happens is you're going to have players that are born with an inherent nature to go hard and to play really, really hard. And you're going to have other kids that are born lazy. That's what happens. And you have to demand it, and you have to coach them, and you have to push them and get them out of their comfort zone on a daily basis. Everybody gets to buy into the fact that we're going to play from 4 to 6 seconds, obviously understanding we got a job to do, but we're going to play as hard as we can for 4 to 6 seconds. Here's where I think the most important factor is when your best players or your most talented defensive players buy into the fact that they're going to play hard for 4 to 6 seconds, it's real easy to coach and it's real easy to demand, because what they do is you're going to empower them to push the other guys to go hard. So when your most talented player plays really, really hard, it's impossible for the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th player on your defense not to go hard, because he'll get embarrassed, he'll get pushed, and he'll get driven to play hard. Just want to show you some clips as we tie this in kind of to our effort and what we consider extra effort plays. Okay? We dialed up a great blitz. We dialed up a great blitz. Okay? So we're free off the edge. Okay? We're trying to rush the upfield shoulder, doesn't happen. But we get great effort running inside out to the football. We get great effort running inside out to the football and making a play. Another play we would consider great effort. 4-man rush, turning, running, and just chasing the football. Okay, guys get stopped on the rush, turn and run and chase. Okay, so we're going to talk about this later on, about what pressure points are. But you see here a screen against pressure, some throwback screen. Okay, they got us. Okay, they got us. They're looking in the box, and they're probably thinking touchdown, right? We would agree looking at this. Hopefully you get them blocked up, and we think touchdown. You're going to see leverage lost. We're going to talk about that. You're going to see leverage lost. You may see a missed tackle. But what you can't make and what you can't coach is effort. Guys chasing things down from behind. Okay, I'm the D-line coach, so those are all D linemen. I didn't put any linebackers or DBs on there. It's all D linemen. Another tough joke. Kerry, did they not get the memo that we run a high-energy program? Okay, Kerry left. Good, he's going to go coach the wide receivers. We run a high-energy program, guys. You watch our practices, you sit in our meeting rooms. We are up-tempo. People should be on edge, okay? So if I ask you here in a minute about how we give up explosive gains, I hope that you could be able to tell me one way is what? Effort. Good. Excellent. We're on the right page. We're on the right track. So, effort. Big play. Coach Meyer talks about having a chance to put our spikes in the ground and play another snap. Give ourselves a chance to play another snap. Put our cleats in the ground. Extra effort here on the edge. Whipping the tight end's ass. Linebackers up and over, topping it off. Can you win a football game? Extra effort, fellas. Extra effort. Somebody's got to win. And I know we're not talking about goal line or short yardage, but we talk about on goal line and short yardage, offensive gurus are going to find a way to get a hat on a hat, right? Okay, so the best way we can coach goal line and short yardage is saying somebody's got to whip somebody's ass and make a play. We've all got a gap. We get it, but they're going to have a hat for a hat. We got to whip somebody's ass and make a play. Over here against the tight end, That's extra effort. That's whipping somebody's ass and making a play. Great picture there. Next thing we talk about, so we've got effort. Next thing we talk about is leverage. And probably the most important thing that a defense, a young defense, or any defense needs to understand. Leverage the football. Leverage the football. To us and our staff, the number one reason why we give up explosive gains is due to lost leverage. Okay? So understand that, make it important to your players. So we've demanded effort. Our kids play for 4 to 6 seconds. Now we've got to coach and get them to understand leverage. Every defensive call, okay, will have a force player. So if you're drawing up defenses that don't have a force player or a leverage player, go draw it up again. Every defense needs to have a leverage football player. They're going to get the ball turned back into the fit player, the cutback player, et cetera, et cetera. Every defensive player must know who is responsible for the leverage. We don't need 4 guys leveraging the football. Okay, we need 1 guy leveraging the football. Then the other 10 are going to run inside out, and yeah, the safety is going to top it, or the corner is going to come back and top us on the backside. But we only need 1 leverage football player. Coach, I thought I was outside it. We only need 1 guy to leverage the football. So make that point clear to your players. When we give up leverage, when we lose leverage, all we're doing is giving free access to a skilled player with the football in his hand, running away from our defense. So make it difficult for running backs, receivers in open space to just circle you up and run down the sideline. Because to me, it's the easiest ways to gain yardage. In theory, they've got to block 1 guy. And circle everybody else up. So if it's some sort of bubble screen or some sort of option or pitch or whatever thing on the edge, if they get the leverage guy blocked and they're faster than you are, like Little League and Pee Wee, they're going to circle you up and gain free, easy yards. We concentrate on reminding our players by leveraging the football, okay, we're going to allow everybody to run inside out. We're going to set the edge and we're going to run inside out to the football. And we're going to chase, and we know we're going to play with great effort. We're going to chase like hell for 4 to 6 seconds. You also, and Coach Withers talks about this, you're forcing, as a defense, you're forcing the ball where you want it to go. Where linebackers and safeties and defensive linemen are running their ass off, getting ready to knock the shit out of somebody. Okay, you're not forcing it where they want to go. You're forcing the ball where you want it to go. And your players will buy into this. We do leverage drills as a defense. Best thing we do, we go and we split apart and we have individual drills. Okay, the D-line's here, the safeties are there, the corners are there, the linebackers are there. Every day we come together. We come together as a unit and we'll do a leverage drill. We'll do a pursuit drill. We may do a tackling drill, but we'll tie tackling into leverage. So once a day we come, and it may be for 5 minutes, but we'll do what we call a string out drill. There's a string out drill. It'll be a hat and hands player. Okay, so if you have leverage, okay, one way to keep it is by hatting and handing. Okay, you're going to butt and you're going to get your hands inside, you're going to compress. If you lose leverage, we're going to call that rip and run, where we've lost leverage. We need to then rip and run to gain leverage. So if you have leverage, keep it. If you don't, get it. How do you get it? Some guys may have to rip and run. Lastly, it'll end up being an angle tackle inside out. And I'll show you this drill that we call leverage and a string out drill. Great drill. So we've got leverage. We're going to hat and hands it. We've got leverage. We're going to hat and hands. So it's a strike. Obviously, we can get into all that D-line stuff, but we're going to hit on the rise. Our hands are going to be inside, but we're going to keep leverage. Okay, we're not going to run lateral. Now we've lost leverage. The ball's outside of us. Even D linemen have to understand this. Now we turn it into a rip and run. Okay, we're going to rip through. We're going to run through. We're going to reduce our inside shoulder. Okay, he could reduce a little more. And then we're going to turn it into an angle tackle. And you can see some good shots here. Keep leverage. Hat and hands. Gain leverage. Rip and run. Okay, great job right there. See the inside shoulder pad? Reducing it. Taking away surface area. And then run inside out. and make an angle tackle. Okay, good look here. Now we've got to gain leverage by hatting and hands in. Now we got to rip and run, reducing the inside pad. Stick, we tell the DBs they can stick and set up the blocker. Okay, we don't tell those fat-ass D linemen anything other than rip and run. Okay? So there's a good stick, rip and run, and then angle tackle. Okay, now we're getting back to the big guy. Hat and hands. Rip and run. See, probably not going to tell that guy to stick and run. We're going to rip and run. And then angle tackle. Hat and hands. Stick right there. Stick, rip, reduce. And then angle tackle. And we coach the hell out of this. You see our guys, our coaches are involved. We split the lines in two. Get creative with this. Have some fun with this. Okay, hat and hands. Rip and run. Could do a better job reducing. Good shot of a 350-pound man doing the same drill our DBs do. Hat and hands, rip and run, and inside out. Want to get to one last shot here of a DB doing it. We'll don't have that one on there. Now, let's see how it translates to our on-the-field performance. Okay, because another thing you have to understand is if you're watching the games and you're not seeing the drills that you're doing in practice come out in the games, you either got to change your drills or you got to make more emphasis on it. So if you're watching your film on the Saturday mornings, and you're not seeing you leverage the football or you're not seeing a string out drill, then we got to reevaluate what we're doing. So we just got some open side lead. Open side lead. We got to gain leverage and continue to string the ball out. And you get a better look at it from the end zone. We got to continue to string the ball out, and then we got to make it an angle tackle. Great picture here. Great picture here. Okay, we do a good job of hatting and handsing. We do a great job of hatting and handsing. Okay, but we need to gain some leverage. Well, that's where our star comes in. Star does a great job of ripping and running and continuing to fight to gain and keep leverage. It's not an easy task, okay, on a 330-pound offensive lineman. But at some point in time, we have to leverage the football. We have to leverage the football. And when we leverage the football, what's that allow everybody to do? Run inside out with great effort. Run inside out with great effort. So once we leverage the football, now we've got guys running inside out with great effort. So we leverage the football. Now here come our guys from inside out, knocking the shit out of the ball carrier. Really good picture right there. Really great job of that star, okay? He doesn't have force. He doesn't have force. That's that damn end's job. But you know what? The star realizes that we've lost leverage. So now he's going to gain it. He's going to gain the force, and he's going to gain the leverage. Yeah, we'd like that edge set well before the numbers. I get that. Well, sometimes they give scholarships too. So we got to eventually leverage the football, and we're going to run our ass off from inside out. Another great clip. Big play here. Third and short. Third and short. String it out. String it out. String it out. We talked all week. Find a way to get this ball dished on third and short. Find a way to force the quarterback to pitch it back 5 yards, and at that point in time, now they got to gain 7. On 3rd and 2, if they're going to pitch the ball and dish it behind you, now they went from gaining 2 yards to gaining 7 from where that guy catches the ball. That we talked about it all week. Okay, Joshua Perry comes in, first snap of the game. Had practiced it all week. Comes in, his first snap of the game. Does his job, strings it out, gets it dished. Now we run inside out. Okay, we're going to talk about this here in a little bit. We're going to miss tackles, we get it. But we got guys running their ass off from inside out, helping make that play. Another great shot of stringing the ball out. String it out, stringing it out, stringing it out. And we got guys running like hell from inside out. Another great picture over here into the boundary. I'll show you from the end zone. Is it perfect? Should the end come under? No. Should the tight end climb to the wheel? Yes, absolutely. But you know what? We're going to string the ball, force it lateral, and we can run inside out. We can run inside out. We got guys running to the ball. We got guys running to the ball, making plays. So we've talked about effort. We've talked about effort. We've talked about leverage. Drills that we can do for leverage. String out. Okay, hat and hands, rip and run. How do you gain leverage? Now we're going to talk about missed tackles. Missed tackles. And we tell our players that if we're in single digits for missed tackles, we're going to win that football game. And I think they believe that because we can show them over the years when our defense, when our silver bullet defense misses 12 tackles a game or 12 and a half or 9 and a half, that's going to be reflected on how well they do. So it's real easy for us to show them, okay, that, again, when we went to the Crocodile Bowl, okay, we missed 12 and a half tackles a game. We missed 12 and a half tackles a game. National championship year, 2002, to the far left, okay, national champions, holding the crystal ball, 8.2 tackles a game, 8.2 missed tackles a football game. So our players can really easily look up here and see the success that our team had and our defense had as it relates to missed tackles. It's real easy. It's real simple correlation, fellas. So we preach this to our players. We also talk to them about 3 types of tackles. 3 types of tackles in the box. Okay, there's not a whole lot of space on either side of me. There's a guard and a center, tackle and a guard. Okay, that's tight, enclosed space tackle or goal line tackle. The second type of tackle that you see sometimes was an angle tackle. We talk about that being the easiest tackle in football. Hell, that will linebacker just comes over, scrapes, comes inside out, knocks the shit out of that poor running back. That's fun. That's a great job to have. This next one here, that's not a real fun job. Okay, this is the reason why you play for 2 years or you play for a lot longer than 2 years, because you can make open field tackles, that you're real comfortable in open field situations with a skilled ball carrier. Talking about all missed tackles will hurt you. We understand that missed tackles in the box will hurt you, angle tackles will hurt you. The ones that give up explosive gains are when you miss ball carriers in the open field. When you go out there and you whiff out there on the edge, you're going to have issues. Now guys got to really, you better be good on that free safety, better be good and be running his butt off. So the open field tackles is the one we really try to stress and really try to pound into our guys about helping us eliminate explosive gains. Because what our offense is trying to do, they're over there talking about getting their playmakers in space with the football. Spread that son of a bitch out. We don't want to block you. We're going to get the football to our fastest kid, our best playmaker in open field and let him do what he can do. Let him break your ankles, let him shake you up, wait till you dive, make you miss and go. We're going to leverage the football. We know we're going to leverage the football. So at that point in time, now we have to find guys and coach guys who can tackle in the open field. Because we just said we're going to play with great effort, we're going to leverage the football. Now we got to coach and find guys who can tackle in the open field. It's a lot easier to coach than it is to find. First thing we talk about open field tackles. Understand angles, inside out. We know the ball is going to get leverage. We're going to run inside out. Don't overrun the ball. I always thought about this when I played. I have to know my ability, which isn't very high, and I have to know that other player's ability with the ball in his hands, which is probably pretty high. Okay? Know your ability and know the guy with the ball's ability and know his. Okay? I always thought about this as a player. If I was going to my right and the ball was going to my right, mentally, I tried to keep the ball on my right shoulder. Yeah, that sounds a little extreme, and I've heard back hip and inside shoulder and all that other stuff, but what helped me as a player, as I was 31 or 32 years old and couldn't move as well, trusting that somebody's going to leverage the football. When the ball's going to my right, I tried to keep the ball on my right shoulder, okay, so the ball wouldn't cut back and I wouldn't stumble and overrun the football. It sounds extreme, but if you trust that you're going to get the ball leverage, it's not all that extreme. Likewise, if I'm going to the left, I want to keep the ball on my left shoulder as a player that's coming inside out. You have to close the space. You have to close the space. You can't break down 8 yards from the ball carrier. We talk about closing the space 3 to 4 yards from the ball carrier. So we're going to sprint like hell inside out. We're going to close the space to 3 to 4 yards. Breaking down too far, we just said, is going to give them too much space to operate. Okay, Shane. Okay, what's wrong with this picture? There we go. Once we break down 3 to 4 yards from the ball carrier, we have to come to balance. We talk about that being speed to power. We have to buzz our feet. We need to get into a football position. We coach football position year-round at Ohio State. Okay, football position. Feet, shoulders width apart. Okay, my ass is down. My chest is up. My eyes are up. My shoulder blades are pinched. Okay, my hands are in my holsters ready to tackle. Okay, it's not a rounded back. There's a reverse arc in my back, so I have some balance. We talk about that when you close the space and you come to balance. That's what we refer to as speed to power. You're going from speed and you're coming to balance in a power position. So you hear speed to power. Yes, that's a move you can use as a defensive end, rushing a tackle, but you're going from speed into power position. One thing I always try to do as a tackler in open field is not go off the diving board. Don't leave your feet. When you see little kids dive into a pool, they're going off the diving board. Don't lunge. Don't leave your feet. Stay on your feet. Number one thing you can impress upon your players in the open field is to stay on your feet. Good ball carriers will sit there. They'll wait for you to take a shot. They're going to make you miss, and they're going to get upfield. Lastly, on every situation in tackling, we have expectations for our players. We have expectations. There's an expectation in the goal line tackle is to knock the shit out of them and drive them backwards. Okay? There's an expectation of angle tackle. That's to run inside out, keep your feet moving, and take the ball carrier to the ground. Real simple. Open field tackling, the expectation is simply get his ass on the ground. That's the expectation. So your player knows that when he's out in space, my coach isn't expecting me to knock the shit out of the guy. He's expecting me, and my defense and my team's expecting me to simply get him on the ground, is to simply get him on the ground. So I think this helps as a player. When you know what your coach expects of you, then you can go out there and realistically do it. Tackle drills. We practice tackling. Our defense practices tackling every day. Every day. Come hell or high water, there'll be some sort of tackling drill built into every D-line drill that I do. And then the DBs will get together and they'll tackle with the receivers. And the linebackers will get together and tackle with the backs. But we tackle every day. Not to the ground. Not to the ground every day, but we practice it. Some skill on tackling every day. First thing we'll talk about here is this speed to power. Speed to power. You're going to see a linebacker with a little drop, a little plant, point, and drive. Speed, power. Speed to power. He's buzzing his feet. He's buzzing his feet, and he's in that football position that we talked about. Excellent. Speed to power. Okay, you notice he's not breaking down where? Too early. He's trying to break down where? 3 to 4 yards from the ball carrier. Speed to power. Okay? Is that practicing tackling? Yes, not everybody at one time. Yes, it is. Yes, it's practicing tackling. Is there a ball carrier? No. Did he take him to the ground? Does he have pads on? Does he have a helmet on? No. But it's practicing the skill on the part of tackling. Speed to power. Be creative with your drills, fellas. Now, you get into a practice situation. Okay, speed. Okay, close the space. Close the space. Come to balance. Football position. Okay, feet shoulder width apart. Chest up, eyes up. Shoulder blades pitched back. Bring his arms in the holster. Okay, yes, he can keep his head up. We get that. You're not always going to bat 1,000. Another tackling drill here with the little cut. Cut, close the space, come to balance. Football position. wrap, and run your feet. Now we're not taking them to the ground. Close the space, buzz his feet, football position, chest up, eyes up, hands in the holster, ready to wrap. What's the expectation in open field tackling, Todd? Get him on the ground, right? Get him on the ground. So we're not trying to knock the shit out of him and make a minus yardage play. That's not realistic. You'll see a couple great clips of open field tackles, fellas. They're in every football game. We're going to leverage the football. We understand that. Now we're going to run inside out with great effort. We're going to have those open field situations that we've got to make the tackle. Two things in here. Two things are playing here. We've lost leverage. So we got to rip and run. And these all tie together. And I hope as you watch these clips, you start to see all elements of the five that we're talking about. Great effort, leveraging the football, making tackles, and then you're going to see the pursuit and the retrace here in a minute. So here's leverage, rip and run, right? Leverage the football. Now we're in an open field tackling situation. It's him or touchdown, okay? Did we tell him to make a -2 tackle right there? No, his expectation is simply to get his ass on the ground. Great job there by the cornerback, gaining leverage and making an open field tackle. So I can see two drills right there. I can see our rip and run drill, and our coaches can see our open field tackling drill. Two drills right there, real specific, from practice to the game. Continue and enhance. If you're not seeing that, we got to change. Doesn't get any better than this, right? Doesn't get any better than this. The ball theoretically is leveraged out there. The ball is leveraged. Close the space, right? Close the space, come to balance. Get in the best football position you can. Speed to power. Get his ass on the ground. Great open field tackle right there, fellas. I hope you don't look at that and say, well, that's a great open field tackle. With these type of athletes, with the ball in space, that's a great open field tackle. What I like is he's not coming up there and just diving and launching. Close the space, come to balance, get him on the ground. Right here, free safety. Come to balance, could be a little what? Could be a little closer, okay? It's not perfect all the time. Because that extra space allows an extra move. Close the space, come to balance, get them on the ground. We've had the ball leveraged. Did we see that? The ball is leveraged. The corner has leveraged the football. Now we need to run inside out and make open field tackles. It's in every clip that we have, fellas. They all tie together. Okay? Here's an open field tackle inside the box, but they've created so much space, okay? They've created so much space that it's not a lead player. It's not a true in-the-box tackle. Okay, it's an open field tackle on a quarterback in space. We would define that as in space. That's an open field tackle. Come to balance. Close the space. Get them on the ground. Get a great look at it right here. They've created space. With pullers, shit over the top. Close the space. Get them on the ground. Great open field tackle right there. Now, right here, what I think you see these NFL safeties, and I know that I take a closer look at it now because I know how much Everett loves to watch NFL. He's coached that game. He's coached those guys in the back end. When you talk about speed to power and closing the space, coming to balance, buzzing your feet, getting into football position, you're going to see it at a Pro Bowl level right here from the free safety. Speed, buzz, close the space, buzz, get him on the ground. There's no way he's going to knock the shit out of LaDainian Tomlinson right there. He's not going to knock his helmet off right there. And if you think he has, you ought to try it some Sunday. It's a lot of fun. There we go. We're waking up a little bit. Maybe I'm doing a better job with my jokes. Open field tackling. Close the space right now. Close the space immediately. Close the space immediately. Come to balance. Buzz your feet. Football position. Speed to power. Is this wide receiver going to wake up in the morning and be like, man, he knocked the shit out of me? No, but he gained 3 yards. He didn't turn a hitch or a look pass into a 20-yard gain. That's expectations. Understand. Make sure your players know what's truly expected of them. That was so good, we put it on there twice. So we talked about effort. We've talked about leverage. We talked about missed tackles. Okay, the fourth thing we're going to talk about is retrace. That's something we pound home to all our rushers. All our rushers. And really, where you have to be concerned with the retrace, okay, is any type of pressure. Any type of pressure that you get, okay, what proper retrace is going to do, it's going to allow those guys to leverage the ball and us to run inside out, okay, and gain extra defenders on screens that they have set up. We talk about pressure points. Pressure points being plays that will hurt a defense if we don't play them correctly. So if we're bringing a six-man pressure and they run a tunnel screen, they got us hanging a little bit. They got us hanging a little bit. Somebody from that rush has got to be able to retrace and help us out to eliminate an explosive gain right there. We have to understand what the pressure point is, and we have to be able to react to it. Not play for it. I didn't say play for the screen when we're bringing 6 guys. I said react to it. React to the screen. We talk about our defensive linemen, and obviously a skill that everybody else learns, but we have to be able to put our foot in the ground, drop our hips, plant, point, and drive. And you'll see we deal with a little different athlete, okay, on the D-line. Talk about the tunnel screen for you guys. We try to get in that hip pocket of the O-lineman. As they release down the line of scrimmage, we try to get in their hip pocket, okay? Obviously, we're expecting someone else to leverage the football. So now we just run inside out and knock the shit out of somebody, and that's where the fumbles occur. Let's get a couple quick shots of that. We practice this also. We practice this as well. Okay, plant, point, drive down the line of scrimmage. Plant, point, drive down the line of scrimmage. Having them work one way of movement, giving them the opposite direction, so they have to be able to react to that. And you'll see guys that have their hips real high. Some other guys are able to drop their hips a little lower and redirect and retrace. Okay, nothing better than this image right here. Okay? Bad here, bad on the left, high hips, low hips over there on the right. Give you a chance to make sharp cuts. Okay, on the right is someone that's dropping their hips, putting their foot in the ground, plant, pointing, and driving. Unfortunately, on the left is someone that needs more work at that. Okay, we're trying to get out of that rounded back and those high-ass hips. I want to show you some plays in the game that's really helped us eliminate some of these big plays. All-out pressure, all-out pressure. We're bringing 6. They tunnel us. Inside lineman, inside 3 technique. Plant, point, drive down the line of scrimmage. The ball is leveraged. Hip pocket of the offensive lineman. Knocking the shit out of the guy in overtime. Big play right there. They probably score a touchdown. Okay, they probably score a touchdown. Big play for us. Let's get this one more clip right here. We'll go on to some pursuit. Okay, screen, screen, tunnel, back inside. Get in the hip pocket, flat down the line, redirect or retrace, and give ourselves a chance to make a play. So as you see the lineman up at the top. So we're moving, plant, point, drive. You got all elements right here. The ball is leveraged, correct? The ball is leveraged. There's your open field tackle. There's your retrace and your effort, fellas. All elements rolled up into one play. Last thing I want to talk about is just simply pursuit. Skill has to be learned and coached and practiced every day. Proper pursuit allows the defenders that are making those open field tackles to have confidence in what they're doing. When you have more confidence in what you're doing, it makes your job easier. Pursuit is going to allow those guys to play with confidence. We talk about our pursuit drill. We don't chase color. Everyone understands where they have to fit so that there's a leverage player in our pursuit drill. There's a fit player in our pursuit drill, and there's guys that are running and playing the cutback. And we practice this pursuit drill. Great pursuit drill. Everybody half line. 1 up, down, 2 up, downs. Everybody gets in their football position. 2 D linemen rush. DBs take their drops. DBs take their drops. Here comes your leverage player. Here comes your leverage player. There's your fit player. There's 1, 2, 3 cutback players. Okay, if that ball cuts back, we're expecting that end to knock the shit out of him inside out. The ball doesn't cut back. He continues to run and not chase color. And not chase color. And then we let the fat guy in the middle off the hook. If the ball gets down 30 yards, he's only going to be there for a cutback. He's going to chase to a certain point and then break down. See it real good picture right here. Everybody's in a stance. We're moving, we're rushing, we're plant, pointing, and driving. Plant, pointing, and driving. Leverage, fit. There's your cutback, and your guys are running. We're not chasing color. Good look at what we do. I know we're running short on time. We're going to have Coach Meyer. Fellas, I hope this helps your program. It's helped us. It's helped our players. It's helped us not give up big games that kill you. We play our balls off 85 snaps a game. You give up 10 big plays in that game, you're probably going to lose. Don't be a staff that comes in there and say, well, 70 plays we gave up 3.2 yards, but on 10 we gave up 21.3. Don't do that. Practice it, coach it, explain it to your players. I promise it'll help your defense. It's helped me as a coach. I think it's helped our players understand and hopefully eliminate explosive gains. Thank you very much.